Here comes the nasty gram.
Send a priest to save my soul, forget it.
Welcome back to the Nastygram RPG podcast. This is Into the Storm.
I'm Dan. I'll be playing Helios, the Immolator.
I'm John. I'll be playing Ariad Ein Ariat, the Elven Barbarian.
I'm Josh, and I play Sapush, the Druid.
And I'm Matt, playing Father Kyle Black, the Cleric.
I'm your Dungeon Master Jake. This is episode 8. Welcome to the jungle.
I apologize for these transgressions. Wish I could say that I learned my lesson, but the bottle she's calling. So this
All right. Well, we left off. You guys had gotten to the village, found all of the people frozen in the snow. Matt went to a party with Dio and learned a little bit about what is going on. Sapush befriended some sort of spirit of the forest, while Helios and Ariad broke into the fortress and found the dead bodies of all of the soldiers, apparently scorched to death by lightning where they stood.
Yeah, I didn't do that.
You guys had decided to take off and get out of here after smashing all of the braziers so that Trenass can't communicate with whoever is in the keep. It sounded like you guys were going to just kind of take off right away, right? Try to get as much daylight as you could and make your way cross-country through the jungle to the river, try to get around the incoming soldiers.
Yes.
Is that the plan?
Yeah, Sapush is going to stand off on the side and do a far too long monologue in his own head before, and then immediately we're going to go.
Nice. So definitely there, Mark XP, Josh.
You guys got to
Wasn't joking.
Got to give your case.
Speaking of XP, a couple of you guys leveled.
Well, technically, we haven't leveled yet because we need to have downtime in order to actually level.
Yeah,
I don't know how you want to.
Yeah, let's for the sake of let's do it now because it'll just be easier.
Yeah.
Did you guys pick abilities or anyone ready to go?
Yeah, I picked Smash, which is when I roll a 12 plus on Hack and Slash. I choose an object an enemy has and they lose it. Could be a weapon, could be a limb. You know.
Okay.
Yeah, something like that.
Boy, could be a head. No.
Yeah. No.
So I think I don't want to ignore the level up rules completely, but you guys aren't going to level up in the middle of a combat or anything. But
right.
We can call this essentially downtime because you're not running from an enemy or in hostile territory or anything like that.
Right.
And it just works for the flow of the game, I think. Cool. So you have Smash. Matt, did Kyle Black level up?
Nope, I got 1 XP.
Good.
Didn't you last time and you never told us what it was?
Oh, yeah, I did level up last time. I don't remember not telling you.
I just don't think we did it in session.
Drinking too much Dio juice. Did you pick a power when you did that before, or?
Yes, I did.
Oh, do you know what it was?
Oh, yeah, it's just I was 3rd level Cure Moderate Wounds.
Oh, shit.
So
All
it's I staunch bleeding, set bones through magic, heal an ally you touch of 2d8 damage.
And okay, sounds good. And Dan, I know Helios leveled up. You look like you're in deep deliberation over there.
There's all sorts of weird shit going on.
We can come back to it. You can just pipe up when you figure it out.
Yeah.
Dan is well known for his deliberation.
I'm working on the flowchart, so
you got to check the subreddit board for the best,
Yes.
the maximized immolator build.
basically everyone says immolators are the worst, is what Reddit says.
If anybody talks about the fucking techno aspect of this game, then they shouldn't be playing
right?
this game.
Yeah. Whatever. Cool. So there was some talk last session about maybe trying to make it look like the keep was occupied to kind of distract the soldiers that were coming and keep them here as long as possible. Was there anything that you guys wanted to do before you take off? or are you planning on just locking the door behind you and leaving the light on?
I think time concerns are more important, so I think we would just lock it as much as possible. Maybe leave a fire going inside.
Like in the courtyard?
Yeah.
So Push probably wouldn't think of this, but maybe making it seem like we're locked in the armory.
Yeah.
I think Kyle would
Yeah,
suggest covering our tracks on the exit from the city more than anything. Just hide where we're going before we head into the jungle.
Well, Ariad would have mentioned the armory doors and probably, maybe set a fire in the courtyard, but also basically bar every entrance and maybe make it look like the armory is the most barred.
Okay. That makes sense. So
Helios will probably fuse some of the metal together on some of the doors to make it
okay. Try
even
to
harder.
reinforce it a little bit.
Yep.
Cool. So they have to smash their way in. So you lock the place up. Try to Sapush probably. Oh, I don't know if Sapush is really that kind of. He's not a ranger.
I'll leave torches lit on the ramparts.
Cool. Okay. So yeah, you try to cover your footprints in the snow so it doesn't. Otherwise, it would be pretty fucking obvious. Just heading off into the jungle. Yeah. Cool. All right. And you all head out pretty quickly. So something to keep in mind. When you left the Sea Witch, you didn't really have great supplies. You weren't super equipped for cold weather because it's so out of place here. You took, I think, some clothes and stuff, whatever you could find, but there wasn't really a great selection. And you probably stocked up as well as you could on rations. So we'll go with whatever your kind of standard rations are on your character sheets. You guys should already have that stuff, right?
In Dungeon World, druids, one of their core abilities, you don't need to eat or drink. If a move tells you to mark off a ration, just ignore it. I think it's more that
You
like,
find it.
You're an animal, you live off the land. You're,
Right.
Well, I chose chainmail over food, so I don't have any rations.
Amazing.
Ariad doesn't have any rations.
Yeah, Helios the immolator starts with adventuring gear, which is 5 uses, which I guess
Adventuring gear and rations
are different.
Yeah.
They are different. You're
Yeah.
right.
Oh, sorry, I do have 5 rations.
P.S. That was like 2 shipwrecks ago.
Yep.
Oh, right.
That's
Yeah.
true. That's true. But the point was, I was saying, like, you probably found an equivalent amount of gear on the Sea Witch.
Okay.
Because I'm not going to be a mean DM who takes away all of your fucking
You didn't
resources.
say
in the first session.
you took rations.
Yeah. So you guys ready to undertake a perilous journey?
Yeah, this is just a roll, and then we just do the next thing, right?
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah,
just
talk
roll
about
and
it.
then we'll move on. Yeah, nothing happening. So Sapush, you're leading them through this snowy jungle.
Yes.
So tell me about that.
All right.
You all get to the edge of the jungle. You've covered your footsteps pretty well. You look back at the keep and you see the torches blazing on the parapet.
Yep.
And you make your way into the jungle. Quickly, it gets darker as the sun is blocked out, not only by the jungle canopy, but by the incoming snowstorm.
Sapush kind of stops and turns around and looks back at you and kind of take a pause. And you notice Sapush looks a little different. Those of you that have known him for a bit see that he kind of takes on sort of aspects of his environment. So his hair, which previously had been almost flowing like seaweed, now looks more like dried dead grass, like long grasses that you see in the wintertime, that just kind of thin brown. His face is like a little bit more pale and drawn and drier, kind of getting into his climate. And he turns and kneels down and he says, "This journey will be difficult. The jungle, there are many slopes and tangles, and, well, the snow is a challenge, but most of it is blocked. Just follow close. The animals here, they are not feeling right because things are not right. Everything will be very defensive. Be careful not to provoke anything. We must do our best to pass without trace."
Nice.
Yeah, Does that count as a D&D pun? Is that what it
Yeah,
is?
100%. It's a fucking first level druid spell, isn't it?
I love it. Okay, and so you start making your way through this jungle, through these snow covered vines. You're kind of shake the snow off as you move them aside. You as you said prefer to pass with no trace, so you're trying not to hack your way through. You're trying to make your way around things. You all notice that Sapush has an excellent sort of natural sense of direction. He'll turn and go around trees or under branches and stuff like that, but he always seems to get back to that due south trajectory, even without really being able to see the sky above
Or talk to a flock of seagulls.
Yeah. You quickly realize, like, your vision becomes so limited by the jungle and by the snow that you would get lost in here so quickly. Everything just looks the same. Josh, how about Sapush give me a roll plus wisdom? I don't know if you have any abilities that affect this, but this is technically a trailblazing roll. I don't know if that matters as a druid. It might.
I mean, I don't think so. I don't see
Is that
anything
is that a
inherent.
move?
You guys are undertaking a perilous journey right now.
No.
No doubt.
All right. That's a 7.
A 7. Okay.
Barely.
That's good. You're all right. So as I said, he seems to always get back in the right direction, but it's slow going because of how he travels at one with the forest.
Is it more that he like moves through it pretty quickly, pretty effortlessly, and then he's waiting for us to catch up?
I mean, I don't know. What do you think?
No, I think I'm going at your pace because I'm sort of like, you watch Sapush move and he's almost pantomiming at times, like being more awkward than he is because he's pretending to be Ariad, the big, like bulky, like armored warrior. So you'll see he'll come up to something and sort of like awkwardly make his way through it. He's smooth, but he's like pretending to be awkward. So he's almost like mentally shapeshifting more into like a humanoid warrior than he really is to
Never go full retard.
to get the path forward.
Okay, so
Quick question.
Yeah.
Sort of when you were talking about mimicking Ariad, is Ariad Lord of the Rings elf, tall elf,
Yeah.
or is that D&D? Okay.
Tall.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah,
He's-
He's a big boy.
big boy. Makes the most sense. Yeah, he does not take animal form this whole time because
Cool.
he specifically is
I like it.
taking
Yep.
that approach.
I like it. I'd like all of you to give me a defy danger roll. You can use your choice of strength, con, or dex, depending on how you are kind of moving through the jungle. Just keep in mind that we'll try to, if you fail this, how you fail will depend on what stat you use.
9er.
12. With strength.
Wow.
12 with dex. Booyah.
I
9
got
with
15 con.
What the
15?
How'd you get a 15?
Oh, wait. Sorry. Fuck. I rolled a.
I was
You rolled
rolling
D20?
Yeah, I rolled a D20.
You really? Oh my god! No wonder you always hit.
So good. I crit. I rolled a 20.
Yeah.
Classic.
Did you roll it all last session?
No, not at all.
That Dio juice hits hard.
Kyle's
had,
so
8.
drunk he's in D&D.
An 8. Okay. That was awesome. All right. So you all do a really good job following those directions. You're making your way through this jungle. At one point, you kind of stop for like a 5-minute rest. And Matt, you like lean against this the vine, this snow-covered vine, and it moves and it kind of ripples and the snow falls off of it. And you see this immense snake and it kind of just very slowly moves away from you. Josh, you see this and you realize that that thing's probably not doing too well.
Yeah. Yeah, I do. One of my Born in the Soils is the river delta. So assume it probably have like some kind of, not as tropical, but big water snakes, water oxen or whatever. And so I see it and realize the plight it's probably in.
Right. You know that reptiles in general, when it's cold, they don't move much. So you don't expect it to. I mean, it's like a D&D snake. It's like the fucking snake in Conan. But it's not gonna. It's probably not gonna try to fight you or anything because of the cold.
My anaconda don't.
Area takes
Stop.
unsheathes the sword.
No, your shield. You need your shield.
Oh,
Like this. I start helping him dig in the ground.
Nice.
Try to dig in under the snow.
What do we are gonna
Yes.
trap it? Okay.
Yes.
Ariadne's like, okay,
We must help. Can you make heat and melt?
is it edible, Sabush? As he's digging.
Helios.
Helios looks at Sapush for a little while, and then he kind of seems resigned to what we're doing. And he's going to summon fire. And when he summons fire this time, instead of it just being like a ball of fire that he would conjure in the palm of his one hand, the hand he's missing actually forms as a hand, but in fire.
Oh, shit.
And he's going to place it down on a stone, like on a boulder, and just pour all the heat he has into the stone.
Cool.
We get this hole dug and manhandle this big boulder, so it's kind of like overlapping the hole. And then Sapush's going to go and coax this snake into the hole under the stone.
Awesome.
And then kind of somewhat cover it up too.
I like it.
Swallows you
I like
whole.
it. Yeah, you kind of cover it up, but the warmth of that stone just kind of starts melting the snow in a pretty wide circle around it.
I softly hiss at it as we're
Nice.
So is this gonna cook the snake or?
it will keep safe, and he will not attack now.
We can move on now, Sapush.
Yes, let's go.
Oh, I was kind of hoping. I've never had. Anyways,
Another time.
If we pass through jungle again, this jungle, it will know that we are friends.
Josh, I'm going to send you a little tiny nastygram for future reference.
mini nastygram.
All right.
Snake lover.
It was just a picture of a dick, actually. Just a drawing of a really veiny,
Snake dick. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got like a little.
That was
forked
supposed to be a
tongue.
snake. Yeah.
oh, it's a snake. I got it. He's like, here's what it looks like. All right. And then I pat them all on the shoulders. I said, "This was good. We did a good job. Let's go."
Nice. Awesome. All right. You guys carry on. See that? You make all your rolls and you don't have to fight giant snakes.
As we walk, I keep walking, keep moving along, but I try to say to Ariad, I say, see, the path we took this way, I think things like that snake, there was a reason I went this way. Before, where the land split, I could have gone either way and gotten to the same place. I felt that was the way we should go. And now that happened. I think this is like you coming to our land and us finding you and then us being asked to come here to this fort. And when we were sent here, the people that thought they sent us, they did not know why. They did not know Trenass would come here. But I think that is why we are here, and that's why you are here. This is a good thing.
You really think so, Sapush? I mean, I told you, the only real reason I'm here is I left my land.
You left. You might not know why. I do not always know why. Some things feel more right to me. Helios, he always talks about Furion and Balakai. One of them, they say, are good guys and one are bad guys. I do not even remember which one we are with sometimes. But the things they ask me to do, some things feel that they are right. And usually I look back and I realize it was for other reasons than the men that thought they sent us. I think this is like you being here.
Doesn't really make sense to me. I mean, who would have sent for me? Who how would they know that at this point in time I would be traveling through the mist? And
I do not know. Helios and Kyle, they maybe have different answers. I kind of raise my voice. We're probably single file, and I'm right ahead of Ariad. And I say, Kyle, he can tell you about how Dio thinks. I think it is interesting, and sometimes I try to speak to Dio with him, and it is fun, but I do not hear him how he does. And the things that I find, it is less how you say, what person, what motivation. It is not a single entity, not like you or me. It is just...
You mean fate, luck?
Well, maybe more than that. Just forces.
These same forces, they work in your lands as they do in mine?
I think they are everywhere. I do not understand all of them. I try to just feel them.
But I'm just an elf with a sword. Up against a wizard.
Yes, but, well, Kyle, he is just a man, and yet he has powers. A god speaks to him. And Helios, he can destroy entire villages. That is very powerful. And I have not met one like me, and you are the only elf here. If there isn't other things, other forces, how would the four of us ever be in this place at this one time to find Trenass and to set this back right? It's the only thing that makes sense.
Well, divine providence or fate, whatever you call it, Sapush, I'll at least lend my sword to this. It's been fun, at the very least.
Yes.
It's an adventure.
And you get to fight something powerful, so that's what you wanted. And, you might die, but if not, this is good.
Yes. I must say, it's thrilling to think about, but part of me, there is a certain fear. I've seen what magic and the arcane can do. We don't have conflict where I'm from. We don't have war, but they practice, and I practice against them. I trained for 50 years to become one, but was never good in my studies.
Maybe this is the purpose of your training.
I broke my oath, Helios. I left the post.
Perhaps for something greater.
Whatever it is, I'm no longer welcome back home.
We try to make sense of our mistakes. I have made many. I've tried to understand why my gift seems to only bring destruction. But what I have found in nature, Sapush, often after fire comes new life, yes?
Yes. The forests of the north, much like this.
So perhaps what I am, what I do, is to restore balance.
That is what you did back there. This cold is not natural. Your gifts are not natural. And yet now the snake lives as it should in nature, under a warm rock. I know this is temporary, but if we can use this in bigger scale to undo Trenass, then we'll bring balance, I think.
We can hope.
What do you think Dio thinks, Kyle?
We're still marching through the snow, right?
Yeah. You're probably all the way in the back, so I kind of turn and yell.
You squeeze between these two massive trees.
This whole time I've been staring at the ground and just putting one foot into the holes in front of me, just all of my concentration. So as soon as you call out, I look up and boom, face plant right into the snow.
Oh, you all right, Kyle? I step back and put my hand out.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I keep finding places where the tall elf can go. I forget about the fat priest.
Yes.
I will try better.
Always an afterthought. Thank you, Ariad. Well, For me, it's always Dio. For Sapush, nature, and Helios, I don't know, fire. I'm still trying to figure that one out.
It is always the fire.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Character concept, fire.
You, Ariad, well, that's for you to discover. It's, Dio said that we're all here for a purpose. We've all been brought here. He brought me, and, well, Sapush comes with me, and I follow him. And I'm still not entirely sure how we are always together, but it works.
See, I think maybe the Dio that speaks to you and nature or the forces, maybe it's just a different way that we all can hear if we listen. I don't know. It must be very different for all of us. I mean, for Helios, the things that I see follow you are very dangerous. I do not understand them. I just know they are not of things that I have ever experienced.
As I have told you, I don't know where my power comes from, whether it is natural or unnatural. For now, I only have my will. And my will thus far has been to see an end to this war.
Well, from your story, it sounds like your will to do that, it cost many lives, destroyed a city.
Yeah.
So, perhaps a change of pace?
But it has brought peace of a kind. And Trenass looks to bring us back into war.
Or perhaps a piece of his kind.
I'll admit, it was not my intention. My wish, when asked, was to end the war. And what came of that wish was the destruction of that city.
The unfortunate truth is, to end a war, typically, one side has to lose.
I have learned this. It's why I bear the name the traitor. The Firion are my people. But I work for the Belakai for now.
You guys hear a rustling in the trees above you. A little bit of snow falls off of the higher branches and kind of starts to fall down to where you are. And you all kind of freeze and get down low, not knowing what's going on. And you look up and you see maybe 15 or so spider monkeys swinging through the branches above you. They just are moving past, yipping to each other as they go, moving pretty quickly.
The last thing we need is Sapush to be a monkey and start throwing shit at everyone.
Josh, you don't understand what they're saying, but you know they're talking to each other.
Okay.
And you think that they're maybe fleeing something.
More than just like a more finite thing than just running from a storm?
They're moving away from a predator, you think.
Okay. We need to go.
What are those?
Things that do not wish to be killed.
As you're all kind of crouched down there, watching these things swing by overhead, to your left, pretty far in the distance, you feel the earth shake. You feel a crash, and you see on what must be that path, you see an elephant moving through the jungle with horsemen behind it. They're close enough that you can see them through the jungle. They haven't seen you. They're moving along as quickly as they can, but that thing kind of lumbers past.
Like duck behind like a tree into the foliage.
Yeah, Sapush just tries to get small and hide and looks around at the others and tries to make sure they're hidden and help if possible.
Yeah, I just lay down.
You can see an armored person kind of standing on top of the elephant. There's like a platform on its back. as it moves through. I don't know if any of you would realize this, but the elephant is probably a pack animal that the mine was using to move shit. Yeah, and that's where they got it.
I whisper to Sapush, "Are these the men?
Yes,
How did they find us?"
that is path where they are. You must be quiet. They will go by.
And so they do. They move by. John, why don't you roll plus wisdom for me?
That's not a good one for me. Oh, that's a 6.
Okay.
Crushing the XP game.
Cool.
Yeah.
You notice that they're moving pretty quickly. You don't know if it's because you know they you don't know why, but they're moving at like we're gonna go assault that place as quickly as we can kind of pace.
Seems like they're trying to make it before the end of the day.
Yes, we need to hurry. The river's ahead. We are not far. Very close.
Was the river frozen?
Couldn't really tell.
I could not see all of it. The sides, yes, maybe ice. I do not know. Possible. There was much canopy in the way.
We should make haste then.
And so you do. You guys made some good rolls on your earlier to travel through here. So you make it to the river without any further trouble. It is a long, grueling day of traveling through this snowy underbrush. So it's past dusk when you get here. The jungle is actually starting to get a little louder now. It's still really cold, but it's warmed up a little bit. It's still going to be a rough night, but you can hear the kind of chirping of birds and insects and stuff like that kind of starting to come to life. And as you get to the foot of this river, you can see that it is moving. There is ice on the banks, but it is moving. And you're pretty confident that finding a way across isn't going to be a problem. It's not immense, and it doesn't seem very deep.
Okay.
Yeah, so crossing it's not going to be a big issue. But it's going to be a tough night in this environment. So I don't know what you guys want to do as far as shelter or whatever.
We can get across, but we will not be dry. Maybe better to rest some, and then we will keep more warm when we are moving.
I think that's a good idea. Let's find a place to shelter down. Preferably not next to any more of those snakes.
Yeah. So unfortunately, you guys don't really have camping gear.
Yeah.
I don't think you have like a tent or anything. You're going to try to build some sort of like shelter or just a fire.
Is it actively snowing at the moment?
If it is, it's not getting down to where you are.
Okay.
Because of all the.
But there's still cloud cover?
There is cloud cover. It's dark now. And you think that the snow might be more actually, because it's unnatural. It's more centered on the town. It seems like there's still a lot of snow here, but it doesn't seem like it's accumulating.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel pretty confident that they wouldn't be able to see smoke with the clouds and.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, in a thick jungle at night, you're not too
worried about a fire.
Yeah.
All right.
We could do as the snake does.
Dig a hole and sleep next to a warm rock?
Essentially, yes.
How about a fire?
That I can provide.
Can't imagine they'd be able to see us through all this.
We shouldn't rest long.
If you are right.
We have another day.
This place, everything here needs heat.
Oh.
The shorter we rest, the sooner we reach Trenass, the sooner we put this wrong to right.
No. There's no point in rushing in. Remember, change of pace. Last time you wished for a war to end and a city was destroyed. Now you wish to only rest for a minute to go possibly run to your death. Change the pace, Helios.
Sapush is going to drop down to all fours and kind of stretches back and kind of growls, and you see his back pop out, and he's going to take the form of a bear.
Ooh.
No.
And got hold 2. And all I want to do as push the bear is I'm going to kind of find somewhat of a depression and dig it out a little bit more, and then
You make a little bear burrow,
and then turn towards them.
Come on, get in my bare hands.
Oh yeah, I'll be a little spoon.
I will. If there's any, even the ground itself, I'll heat it.
Okay.
So that we can actually kind of recover some warmth, some heat, and make sure that we're dry for the night.
And Spush just basically kind of lies down across them.
Okay. All right. You guys
Bearskin rug.
curl up in there.
And does not take watch. Spush is going to sleep.
All right.
I think Ariad will take first watch.
You're gonna like kind of stay outside of their little burrow and stand around, and keep watch. Okay. Yeah, you are very tired. Like I said, it was a long push, but are you gonna wake someone else up?
I'm just gonna make sure they don't turn around.
Oh, okay.
And give it enough time, and then probably go back to sleep. Probably not wake anyone else up.
Yeah. So yeah, you stay up for a few hours. And
It's almost out of habit.
Yeah.
From being on guard duty.
Yeah. And you eventually you're like, okay, you head in there, and you actually, by the time you get in there and go to bed, you're not as cold.
Yeah.
So you kind of just lay like against the front of Sapush, and you all go to sleep. And
I thought he smelled bad on the outside.
Kyle Black, some point in the night, you start to get hot. It starts to get hot in here, and you kind of move away from Sapush because he's fucking throwing off so much heat. And you've got this like canvas from the ship, like sailcloth that you had been using as like a blanket, and you toss that off, and you kind of just try to go back to sleep, but you are sweating. Later in the night, Dan, you're having these weird kind of fire dreams, I assume, that you always have.
Always.
And you feel in your dream, sometimes in these dreams, you are fire. You literally are like a being of flame. And you feel this time a water wash over you and douse that flame. And you feel like you're almost drowning. And then you wake up.
And a fucking bear's pissing all over you.
You wake up in this bear hovel that had been dug out, and you're in water. Sapush, you wake up shortly after that. You feel the water soaking into your fur, and you wake up and it is hot, and the snow is drastically melted. It is melting extremely quickly. The jungle is back to its normal temperature, if not hotter. And as you start to come to, you realize the water is quickly rising around you. The river is just flooding, and your whole hovel just starts to fill with water as the snow of the jungle melts and causes this river to suddenly swell, and you're all in it.
Okay.
All right.
Bear raft. Anyone?
So, like, we're literally, like, the banks of the river have risen up to where we are. Okay.
Kind of while you were sleeping, like, all of a sudden, like, you all kind of are coming to as this water is rushing, like quickly, so quickly, like, moving up, like, and covering your body. So you all kind of get to, and you're in mud all of a sudden. There's no snow around you. You're drenched in both water and sweat.
What happened?
This is disgusting.
Trenass. He must have shifted his attention elsewhere.
Come on, we got to get out of here. It's gonna.
Is the water like flowing over us?
It's moving pretty quickly. In fact, it's starting to get pretty dangerous.
Ooh.
One might say that defying danger would be in order.
Helios is going to start scrambling up out of the hole and start moving away from
Could
the
you guys
riverbank.
all give me defy danger strength? Josh, your bear form, I'm assuming, is going to be strength based.
Yeah.
So, yes, defy danger strength to try to kind of get out of this rushing water.
11.
11, 8,
8 for Sapush.
8 for Sapush.
And I'll tell you what he's aiming to do, and because sometimes like Sapush, I think gets caught too much thinking like if he's in an animal form instead of like, oh, let me take a form of a creature that could more easily help them get across. He's thinking like bear, so he's gonna look for like a more dead tree and try to run over and put his big bear weight on it and push it down, either as an anchor point or potentially like a flotation kind of device.
John, you got a full success with 12. Dan, you got an 8.
Correct.
Okay. And
9
Matt?
minus 1.
9.
Sorry, I should be saying character names here. Yeah. All right. So Kyle, so everyone got partial successes except John. So, and yeah, Ariad is pretty strong, and you make your way to some sort of high ground. The rest of you, I'm going to offer you a worse outcome or a hard bargain or ugly choice. Okay. So, you can manage to get out of the rushing river, but you're gonna basically lose anything that wasn't like on your person. I don't know if for Sapush that's probably nothing.
I don't know, like what. It's like the whole question, like what happens to he doesn't have much for gear, but he has a few things.
Right.
Does it just like absorb it into his fucking
I
body?
think it does.
Yeah, I think he's a
But
hulkish
for,
kind of guy.
Yeah, for Sapush, this would mean, I mean, like, you know, with the partial, you can get yourself to safety, but that's probably gonna be it.
I think he would maybe endanger himself a bit if it looks like his companions are having a harder time getting out.
And you know, staying here and trying to kind of gather your gear, it's not going to mean you drown automatically. It's just going to mean you're still in the danger.
So I'll stay if others are staying, basically.
I think Helios wants to stay and make sure he's got like the ledger book and the map and all those things that he's kind of collected since then. So he's going to kind of more frantically kind of try to grab his belongings. Maybe he's a little slower because he's only got one hand. So
Those are the excuses.
yeah,
Oh, there you
right.
go.
Fucking primo parking and
Yep.
And
now.
Matt, what is Kyle Black doing?
He's getting his staff and his bag with his food in it, and fucking scrambling up the bank out of the water.
So Helios and Kyle are kind of trying to gather their things as this water rises up around their legs. You both kind of are slipping around in the mud and almost falling, and Sapush is kind of using his body to prevent some of this current from hitting both of you while you collect your things, kind of trying to create a natural bear barrier for you.
barrier.
And Ariad quickly, I don't know if you sleep in your armor or yeah. So you're taking all your weapons and equipment and kind of throwing it up to a higher spot. So you know you get a good footing where you're still in the water, but you're not really worried about it sweeping you away, and you kind of just like haul your stuff out and toss it up on drier ground. So you're all doing that, picking up, pulling out all your stuff, and let's see who I'm going to pick on here. Everyone except Ariad, just roll 2d6 and tell me what you get. I'm going to go with the lowest.
7 for Sapush.
Oh,
11.
Why did I even roll? Why bother?
4. I got a 4.
All right.
Sounds unbearable.
Yikes.
So as you're trying to gather your things and pull yourself onto the shore, something
I don't even
grabs
get
you.
experience for that, by the way. That's just a low roll.
Something grabs you. You feel teeth on the back of your leg, and you get pulled down into the water.
Helios!
It's still dark. It's hard to see what's going on.
Helios and
But
water.
you all see a huge thrashing tail come out of the water as something pulls him under.
Ariad drops his stuff and draws his sword and runs after him.
Helios, it lets go, and you come to the surface, but you realize you've been pulled closer to the river, and you're now swimming.
Okay. Great.
And you see this massive crocodile come to the surface
It's a bush.
and open its jaws to eat you. Who wants to go first?
I think. He's in the water. Ariadne's going to try to get to. Is there any way for Ariadne to get to the crocodile and strike at it with?
I mean, we're in a combat now, so you could hack and slash, and as with hack and slash, you'd put yourself in danger. It's just that the damage you take won't necessarily be from a crocodile biting you. It might just be from the river or whatever.
I might try, actually, rather than that, try to get down there and pull Helios out.
Okay.
Of danger.
All right.
So probably.
I guess that would just be aid.
Aid
or defend.
Or defend, yeah.
Or we can make shit up.
Or defy danger.
So, what's your goal here? Your goal is to get Helios to land.
Firm footing, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and give me defy danger strength.
Okay. Niner.
Okay. Yeah. You can do that, but you're gonna be in the water. You're gonna have to basically do what you did with your gear, which is go in, grab him, and kind of toss haul him up past you.
Okay.
You'll be putting yourself in the line of fire for the crocodile.
Yep, that's fine.
All right. So how do you do it? You want to describe it, or it's basically just what I said?
he wades up to his waist in this rushing water, and Helios is trying to swim towards him through the muck. He grabs his good hand and kind of places his feet as firmly as he can on the muck and just yanks Helios behind him, and is basically just standing there in waist deep water now in front of a crocodile.
Nice. All right.
Helios kind of stumbles through the water, gaining his footing. He wears kind of like a traveling cloak robe sort of thing. So it's probably soaked and super heavy, and he's struggling now to wade up onto the bank and moving past Ariad and kind of turning over his shoulder to make sure that he's not about to get snapped up. But once he is sure of his footing, he'll probably turn and kind of address the situation. But I imagine that it takes a turn or so in order to find my feet.
Cool. Sapush or Kyle Black?
You said it was still dark, right?
It is.
So I guess the only thing Kyle is going to be useful for is I will use one of my rotes and cast light on my staff, and I'll just make it a white light so that we can at least see what we're doing. And I don't know if I can aid anybody in calling out where the crocodile is from eye shine.
Absolutely. So what I'll have you do instead of a regular aid roll, why don't you just give me roll plus wisdom? That's 2d6, by the way.
It's 27. No, it's
Nat 20.
It's a 10.
A 10. Very good. So you light up the area with your staff. You can see this rushing river, and you can tell immediately that this is going to get worse. There was a lot of fucking snow, and it is all turning into water. You think the only way that you're going to get safe from this is if you get up into the trees, and so that's your kind of 5-second assessment of the situation. Is, oh shit, this jungle is flooding. And it's pretty easy to spot the crocodile. I mean, this thing is like a good 15 feet long.
Cool. Can I see any vines hanging anywhere that look like they'll be stable enough for us to use to?
Absolutely. So what we'll do, Matt, for that roll for your aid, is you can give +1 forward to anyone who's kind of following your lead, whatever your lead is going to be. So what do you say or do? What do you tell them, I guess?
The trees, up! We have to go up! There's more water! This is, holy fuck! Follow me!
Okay. And Sapush. Bear Sapush.
Even Bear's Bush
Water
is,
bear.
is no stranger to the trials and tribulations of life of a crocodile. I've lived the crocodile struggles. So I am, I don't know if you want to call it defend or what. I don't think he's going to take the form of a crocodile, but he, in his bear form, he's going to come down into the water and try to, he's basically going to try to dissuade this thing from attacking, either by intimidation, territory, or, whatever kind of body language he thinks. So, I don't know, what do you want to call that?
Parlay.
Parlay.
Hello, good sir.
I don't know if that's a parlay.
It's sort of. Is there such a thing as an intimidation roll?
Not exactly.
No. What do you think? How do you want to do this?
Make a strength check or something.
I would say
I mean, a parlay is what it would be used for intimidation, because you're just trying to manipulate a character, an enemy character.
Yeah.
Or a character.
Yeah, you're trying to get it to back off.
yeah, I guess so.
Maybe don't use charisma, use strength.
I mean, you see that kind of stuff on like the Nature Channel, right? Like a lion and an alligator square off over a gazelle kind of
Yeah.
thing. So, I mean, they do make judgment calls.
Yeah, I guess maybe a strength-based parlay. I mean, I hate to just kind of fucking play to my strengths, though.
I don't know. I just don't know if it's going to really care or I mean, what do you do? I mean, can you do this in a way that strength makes sense? You're going to like break something?
I'm basically going to come into the
Smash
water
its
and
nose.
just like, hammering and splashing with big bear paws and just trying to look like this isn't worth it. Like thinking of the mind of a predator, this is more,
This is my food.
this is my food, or just, make him seem that this is not worth the meal.
Okay. You can use strength, but it's also you're going to take -1 forward just because it's a very different animal.
Okay.
And so it's not.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So 10.
10. Okay. It's not going to run away, but it definitely it backs off at
Takes
least
pause.
temporarily.
Okay.
So it looked like it was about to eat Ariad, but it kind of turns towards you and then it submerges. And you've been a crocodile. You know that it's not gone. Also, this crocodile
Shake
is
a pod.
it's bigger than the kind that you used to. You don't know if maybe because it's in the jungle or maybe
Yeah.
it's a dire crocodile. Perhaps.
All right. That's me.
Ariad will take this opportunity to back up onto firmer ground and draw a sword.
Okay, cool.
And just hold there and wait for the rest of you guys to get out of the water.
All right.
Helios will kind of backpedal up the bank while looking at the water, and he'll bring a flame to his hand as well in case it
All right.
resurfaces.
So you're trying to get to the shore almost, and as you backpedal, you it's almost like a dream. The shore is always just out of reach. It's just a step away, but when you get there, it's moved. Like the goalpost keeps moving, and as the water continues to rise.
At some point, he'll probably kind of just turn and run up the bank, like
Okay.
heading towards higher ground and a tree.
Okay. And Kyle?
Vines, use the vines and get up. The water's feet. It's going to be a feet higher. You have to go now. And I'm grabbing vines and just trying to climb up them to get as high as I can.
Okay, give me a defy danger dexterity? Yeah, climbing.
Makes sense.
More strength index in this case. I mean, you're kind of just
Yeah, it's pretty easy. There's a lot of handholds just carrying your own weight. So yeah, strength.
Oh, thank God, because that would have been a 6, so it's actually a 7.
Ooh, a 7.
But don't you want the experience?
The experience of drowning? Yeah, I'd love that.
Getting eaten by a crocodile? No, I don't. I'm okay with that.
Okay, you start to climb these vines, and you actually climb pretty well. But then one end of it, like it's this long loop that comes down out of the trees. One end of it lets go, and it actually like you swing out, and you're still holding the vine, but you're in the water, and you kind of start pulling yourself up, but you're basically right above the water hanging on this vine.
Fucking tasty little tree.
It's like a
Little snack.
I'm just picturing those Steve Irwin videos. I'm just that chicken hanging out of somebody's hand.
Yes.
Crikey!
Josh, Sapush, you saw this crocodile go under the surface, and then you see Kyle swing out on this vine, and you see bubbles. You see this thing about to lunge, like basically straight up and grab the chicken off the rope.
Sapush gives a almost like if a bear could roll its eyes as it's growled, it would, as he kind of plunges forward, probably all the way up to his kind of bare shoulders now. He's going to try to defend the bottom of this little spot. And it's an 8, so hold 1. So I can, if I'm going to use it to redirect an attack from the thing you defend to yourself if the croc goes after it.
Love it. All right.
After him.
All right. John?
Ariad sees the croc getting ready to strike, so he will preemptively strike at the crocodile.
Okay.
So I'll hack and slash.
Okay.
Hey!
Yowza.
Opa! That's a 14.
Oh.
Try out your new fucking shit.
Yeah.
So, take it. Well, I mean, you don't kill it, but what's going on here? Describe the scene.
Well, so I rolled 12 plus, so I'm gonna add damage, a d6, first of all. And how much damage does it do to me? I just want to roll damage to see.
Isn't it only if you get a 7 through 9 does
No,
damage?
it
to
always
you?
does damage.
Oh, it
always
always
does. I can ignore it, or also do a plus d6.
It does 4 to you.
So 1, and I do 10 to it. So as it's like sneaking, waiting to strike, yeah. So he just on a wide arc, just a wide, crazy arc through the water, connects with the front leg as it starts to pop out of the water, and the front leg gets lopped off.
Ooh.
As it tries to.
Poor guy.
Okay. Yeah, so it starts to lunge up, and you do this, and you cut off that front leg, and it kind of gives up its attempt to snatch Kyle off of this vine. In the process, it kind of turns its body and slams back down onto the water, and its tail swipes around and just kind of knocks you back.
Yeah.
And that's where the damage comes from. And it goes under the water again. And now, could Sapush and Ariad give me Defy Danger? This is going to be strength.
Okay.
Because you guys are
rushing water.
for the water.
Keep doing pretty good. 9.
8.
Okay.
Not great.
Not great, but okay.
You hold your footing, but you're not. I mean, it's getting to like stomach height at this point.
Yeah.
So you're not really able to move out of it, but you're able to kind of stand fast where you were. It's kind of up to Helios. It's kind of up to your knees at this point where you are. You kept trying to move away, and it's just encroaching very quickly. You actually turn and you see more water behind you now. Like the jungle floor is just flooding with water.
I start to climb.
Okay.
I will try to climb using vines and the tree and see if I can actually get up to safety.
Okay.
So, strength-based Defy Danger? Is that?
Yep.
And he gets that +1 forward
Yep.
from
you get
me, correct?
+1 forward.
I'm
Yes.
just leveling on up.
Jeez.
Did you fail or?
I got a 5.
Oh boy! All right, you go for a tree that you think you can climb. Unfortunately, you have to step a little deeper into the water to get to that tree. And as you get there, you slip and you get pulled into the deeper part of the water.
Can you just do a montage of all the times Helios is fucking like eating ass into, fucking, into a river, into the fucking ice, into the...
Yeah.
water is my nemesis. I'm like, what's the Unbreakable?
Makes sense.
Like,
Yeah.
Every time there's water, he just like dies.
You start kind of clawing at the mud and
sense.
branches. You feel some fur as you try to grab onto Sapush's side, and Ariad actually grabs an arm and stops you from getting swept down the river. But the three of you are now in water that is chest deep and moving quickly. And Kyle is kind of dangling above you.
Wow. We're the world's worst heroes.
And we're gonna go fight a terrible, crazy
reincarnated
god
wizard.
wizard. Yeah.
We're gonna do great. The river is kicking our ass. What's next?
Kyle? You got Kyle Black?
Yeah, I'm trying to pull my fat ass up this fucking vine.
Good.
Don't have a spell for that.
No, I have
Dio's
no
not
spell
much
for
of a
that.
climber.
Holy shit! That's 2 6s.
Oh,
There you go.
okay.
Yeah.
So that's
You managed to climb up to a large branch.
Just no legs, arm
yeah.
over arm.
No, I'm fat. There's no arm strength. It's all legs. You just what you see from below is you see the largest calves you've ever seen just lock around the vine, and he twists the rope and clenches it between two of the juiciest butt cheeks that have ever existed on a man.
Wow.
And like a Ren and Stimpy cartoon, he just shifts his way up and pops, using his calves and his glutes to get up to the top of this branch.
Reliving gym class.
Oddly arousing.
You're about 12 feet above the water on this massive branch. Kind of your chest is over the top of it, so you look straight down at the three of them, and you guys are underneath him, illuminated by his overhead lighting of his staff.
Nice.
The moon is
As long
out.
as it looks good.
Since he's up so high, it's kind of throwing this light on the entire river, and it's now that you realize like how bad the situation is. I mean, this is
The whole jungle is flooding.
flash flood.
Yeah.
And you're on the river. So who's next?
I've been going last.
I grab Helios and I try to pull him up to where that vine is. I'm basically going to try to get him to be able to climb up.
So do you want to
like
make a aid another, and I'll do a defy
Yeah.
danger strength?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
What's your bond with Helios?
He shares my hunger for glory.
Okay.
Earth will tremble at our path.
Yeah, I'd love to survive the river.
Yeah, a lot of glory from escaping a
Dan,
flood.
you're going to give me a defy danger to try to climb up there?
Yes.
Sounds good.
Nope. And I
I got
don't
a
think
7. So, I get
So
the plus
what
one.
does that give? +1?
Yeah.
I got a 4.
Dude, unbelievable.
Jesus.
Throw your dice in the trash can.
Yep. I just switched them up too.
What level?
You need
level
big
up
dice.
in the middle of
Dan.
this.
You need big dice.
Yeah, right.
Not those tiny ones.
You're using those stupid little West End dice, dude.
Yeah.
This is real.
You need
this is a
real
real
2d6.
Okay.
All right.
You're both going to take 2 damage.
Surfing
No
lessons.
armor.
Okay.
As you just start. You're just choking down some muddy river water.
Our oxygen meter is going.
Yeah, it's getting grim. You had a pretty good footing, so you don't get swept away. But it takes everything you have just to keep Helios with you, because he's trying to pull you down.
Yeah.
He's trying to drown you.
Come on, Helios!
I'm going to go back to that earlier strategy of like burning up all the ocean water in order to make. Yeah, I'm just going to supernova.
Yeah, it'll just boil us
Sapush?
alive. It's cool.
Well, Spush is going to pause, get his bearings.
Pause.
Bearings.
Yo.
And I
Unbearable.
don't know. I think I'm just going to. I mean, I'm looking at this floundering immolator, and I guess.
Seeming pretty hopeless. I thought, oh yeah, cool, different sort of encounter. But turns out you guys
Party
suck.
wipe.
We just thought-
party wipe from the river.
Yeah.
I think Sapush is just going to try to use his bulk, help one more time on his next roll. So he's going to probably stick his whole bare head underwater to get a grip and just push his body up under Helios, hoping that he can get a hold of some vines.
Just to tackle us
and
onto
then,
the dry land.
figure out where to go.
Okay.
So fucking hopeless.
All right. So Helios, why don't you give me an assist and give me another Defy Danger.
It's assuming strength base, maybe.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
So
So
plus
I rolled
one.
a 10.
Plus one.
So
Excellent.
11.
All right.
11.
So I like it. Collectively, you guys
Boombata together.
between Bear Sapush and Ariad, they hoist you out of the water, and then you actually feel Kyle grab your hand from above
With his
and,
butt cheeks. It's just an iron clench.
and pull the frail wizard up to this tree branch. But Josh, you take 2 as well. Two damage from river water as you slowly drown.
Cool.
Neat.
So you come back up again. The 2 of you are there. By now, the water is up to your shoulders. I'm not sure how that works on a bear, but up to Ariad's shoulders, you're probably treading water.
Yeah. Or back feet
Yeah,
push
yeah.
off the ground and.
Luckily, it seems like losing its arm might have been enough between that and bear intimidation. Might have been enough that crocodile doesn't seem to want more of a fight. Generally, you cut a crocodile's arm off; it's not going to fuck
Yeah,
with
it doesn't want to.
But you almost forget about that because of the danger that you're in here. Either of you have anything?
So push. Can you climb like that?
I think Sabush is going to give you what you interpret as a berry smile. A bear smile. And
What is a bear smile?
It's all fangs. It's all like horrible,
Like
terrifying
sticks
things.
his tongues out a little bit.
Oh, it's gonna kill me. That's the kind of smile.
Those big lips kind of flutter.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Lay down. Bring me the vine.
Sabush is thinking in his
grab
head,
it.
Kyle would have known exactly what I meant.
Ariad then reaches up for a vine and tries to pull himself out of the water.
Take that +1 forward from Matt.
Oh, the
This is
vine
Elf
lord.
from Dorchester.
Matt's
Out
trying
of
to.
the water.
Water, the water.
The water's
He's from the
killing him.
mystical land of Dorchester. I rolled a 12.
12. All right. Oh boy. Kyle,
I
you
want that
managed to
character.
rip down some vine and pass it down to him.
Stealthy
You
elf.
grab that and you pull yourself up without any trouble.
What about Sapush?
It's the push.
Sapersa.
You see
push
the
bear.
Sapush bear disappear under the waves, and then
And he is dead. He's
uh,
dead.
and that's it. So I need a new character sheet,
Wow.
and I think we need a wizard. So
We found one in the woods. It's weird.
and then you see a kind of a wide flat thing flop up to the surface, and a large beaver arises and swims as hard as
Just
it can.
the fact that the beaver arises out of the water. Like he's fucking Rambo. Like he gets to just the eye level right above the water.
I mean, it's probably the most
and he's
fucking.
got a fucking red bandana on.
It's the most badass beaver you've ever seen in your fucking life.
I see you got a 7 plus something there.
Yeah. So 9. So I get whole 2.
Perfect.
My thought is just using one just to get through.
And then the second to dam the river.
Yes. And I think there's enough. I'm the second one to build a hydroelectric facility.
It's Dambo.
Damn.
Strong.
So swimming, keeping yourself afloat, and then you're gonna.
Yeah, I think he's going to try to swim to a tree.
Okay.
And I don't know if I've seen it, but I imagine a beaver can climb a tree.
Instincts kick in. He starts chewing down the tree.
I mean, if anything, you can probably find a
get up.
tree that's
You could've
at
done
a
it.
bit of an angle.
Yep.
And yeah, beavers can probably climb trees. I'm sure
Bears
someone
can
will
climb
tell us
trees.
otherwise. So, yeah, you managed to climb and and after a little bit, managed to get to the same branch that the three of them are on.
We're going to get a lot of letters about beavers not being able to climb trees.
So the three of you, suspended above the raging river, you stay there until dawn.
I used the second hold to chew away the branch which started to catch in the flow and pull the whole tree down. It's very dramatic. It's supposed to really save the day there.
You can't help it. You're like on the branch. You're like, must not eat branch.
You save the town. You're the hero.
It's a few more hours on this branch until the sun is up, and until the river isn't moving as fast. All the snow has melted. It's hot.
Is the forest essentially flooded? Like I've
Flooded.
seen, it's
like a flooded jungle. Because this, the snow was unnatural.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like this water came from basically nowhere. And there was a ton of it.
How do we get over now?
It's also wicked humid.
Yeah.
It's the humidity that kills you.
You're all pretty exhausted by the time that sun comes up. The jungle is fully alive at this point. You can hear the sounds of countless animals that you can't identify. And you look out over the jungle and yeah, there's just water. You're not sure how deep it is, but it's a pretty cool sight, just this flooded jungle.
I don't know if I'd call it cool from where I am.
It's not snow. It's warm now.
Helios, do you think he moved on or he just focused somewhere else?
He sent his men forward. I doubt he's moved from the temple yet.
Sapush says he's back in Sapush, normal Sapush form over the night. He says, I don't think so. This kind of looks up and then down. I think this is just as unnatural as what came before. I think that was how he tried. Perhaps. I don't know. But maybe this is him controlling it in a different way.
Exerting his will.
Yes.
Just
Father Black.
from what I hear, places like this are naturally hot and sweltering and sticky and disgusting.
Father Black, can you see or tell if the influence of divine power is being used?
Well, I can try to detect some magic, but I don't know. I could ask Dio.
Perhaps more importantly, we must find out how we are going to get there.
Do we even know the direction anymore?
Jake, do I think, thinking back to my bird's eye view, does Sapush remember, like the lay of the land, is the path higher up anywhere, like ahead, are we in, obviously we're by the river, so is the path pretty much flooded the whole way, or do I think if we were able to push through, would we get to a point where we'd be drier?
Yeah, so the river
Is the lowest point.
Is the lowest point, absolutely.
I know how a drip
you,
works.
you think that you think based on not so much you couldn't see the ground, but just remembering the canopy, it seemed like it almost like hills, like it did dip near the river. So you think that if you keep going, you're going to get to a point where you're on dry land. Or muddy land.
Yep.
And for the most part, that path, that road that they were on, it did seem like it stayed to higher parts, like ridges or something like that in the jungle. It's possible. I mean, your character isn't like an expert on fucking rainforests or anything, but it's possible that this place floods and that this isn't, I mean, what has happened now is unnatural, but this isn't unheard of for this place. And,
Sure.
The more you think about it, like, there are signs that might happen often. So it would make sense that road, that path is at a high point that doesn't flood as often.
Sapush says, and he's looking almost like his hair is now like river reeds, and his features are much more almost like a pale green. He says, "We must get through this, but ahead, if we can continue, we will get back to ground."
How deep do you think that water is?
None of you are really certain, but you know that right below where you are is going to be the deepest point because that's where the river was.
We will need to swim or make something to float across.
How rapid is the river flowing underneath?
It's not
us?
moving as quickly anymore. I mean, you can see it moving. You can see tree branches and stuff getting pulled along in one direction, but it's more like the whole base of the rainforest is moving in that direction, and it's not super fast.
Helios is going to try to shrug out of essentially his robe and just be in like breeches essentially and take all his gear and wrap it up in the robe and like tie it off, getting ready to have to kind of swim through this water.
Okay. Yeah, like getting rid of any excess weight.
Yep.
Yeah.
And anything that's going to drag him down. So
I'm not so sure I'll be able to swim in my armor. And I have a feeling I will need that at our destination.
Sapush, would you be able to find a branch or something that Ariad can use, that all of us could use?
Yes, some of large branches, even some of the trees have been knocked down or close to it from this. Yes, I think we can make something. We will drift a ways getting across, but I think we can make it.
If you could gather some, we can try to be on our way.
So you're saying you need a beaver. So you're saying you need the beaver.
It was all fun and games when the beaver came out, but
Justin Beaver comes back for his fucking triumphal.
Do you want to give me a build raft roll?
Absolutely.
I mean, it's D&D, that would be a skill. Craft raft.
Craft.
Craft raft. I don't think you need to roll for this. It's going to take some time, though. What are you doing?
Nothing fancy. Just, I don't even know if we have rope or anything. But basically just looking for, 2-3 good size log/large branches that can clump together and either tie them up, at least get some vines around them, and then just sort of
push off.
Spread the body weight. Get some long sticks for poles if we get close to stuff, knowing that, and maybe I'll try to help pull it across, but we're probably going to go a good ways downriver.
Yeah.
By the time we get across.
Dan, mark off one of those uses of adventurer's gear for me.
Got it.
Pull some rope out of your bag of tricks. And Matt, I meant to have you do this earlier. Why don't you give me roll plus wisdom?
8.
Okay, that's fine. Do you have any rations on your character sheet?
I do. I have 4.
Okay. So mark off 3 of those. That's kind of what you guys used like last night and whatnot. And I think Dan has some as well. But
I have some.
Cool.
You do?
If he was able to refill basically on the Sea Witch, then he would have 5.
Yeah.
Maybe
Well, then
one.
instead of Matt marking all of them off, you can each just mark one of them off.
Okay.
Except Sapush, he doesn't care about mortal things like that. Just eating beaver food.
My character sheet says dungeon ration, so I think I can only eat them in a dungeon. So
They see the light and they disintegrate.
Oh no, they're dark elf.
Yeah, how'd your guys' hardtack hold up in that fucking
Yeah,
flood? Pretty good.
Soft tack now.
Nice and soggy.
they're like that D&D skill, dungeoneering. Like it's very specific.
All right, so you spent some time fashioning this raft, and they all kind of go through their packs and toss you things that you could use. And eventually you get it made. And it's kind of like a half hanging off type situation. Like you guys are like half in the water, holding on to this thing that does float. And you manage to
Just get your feet on one side and kick.
yeah, kick and kind of push against trees and stuff like that, and eventually make your way to drier land. You get to the point where you can kind of feel the bottom and start pushing along with your feet, and then eventually you all get out of the water. And then I would like you all to give me Defy Danger con checks.
Be a hero, they said. Go on an adventure.
8. I'm the king of
Are you in beaver form?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I think so.
+1/4. It doesn't matter because it's still mixed, but
6.
9er.
Kalak.
8.
All right. Can I see a character sheet real quick,
Sure.
Dan?
Yeah.
I just don't remember what things are called. Sorry, bear with me just a moment here.
It's
all right.
beaver with me.
You're all gonna take except for Sapush, because you're in beaver form. It'll make sense in a minute. You're all gonna take 4 damage, and John, you are sickened. You all crawl up out of the water and onto the shore. Sapush beaver comes up and shakes the water out of his fur. And John, you feel lightheaded. You don't know why, but you collapse.
Jungle fever.
Swamp leeches? Oh, fuck.
Oh, yeah. You look down at your legs and you see this big black leech.
What the? I grab it and rip it off my skin and throw
Rip it off and just spurt of blood.
What is this? I throw it into the river.
I immediately start checking myself.
You all start checking yourself, and sure enough, these things are all over you. You start ripping them off.
So push changes back. No.
They've already taken the damage. So the beaver, I'm guessing, with the fur, probably
you ain't getting through that shit.
So you all kind of roll around in the mud and pull these things off. Mostly your legs, because your legs are in the mud as you were pushing along. And
Use flame
now you get to use it
a little. Otherwise, it will bleed when you take off.
A little late.
I'd turn kind of my missing hand into fire again, and I touch the wounds where I pulled them off.
Yeah,
and just burn the wound closed.
No, that's not
like that.
No,
we'll say that's part of your 4 damage.
Yep.
Ariad, you pull off your you said you've got greaves.
Yeah.
You unstrap those and take them off, and they're just all underneath.
Yeah.
They had just crawled in there. And because it takes you a little longer to get that armor off, and you start pulling them off, scraping them off with a knife or something.
Yeah.
But you feel dizzy. You just feel like you've lost a lot of blood.
Oh, gee. Well,
There's one in the old corkscrew.
By the time
where I'm from, it's counterclockwise.
that's a deep inside joke there. I don't know if we're gonna go into that one.
Most D&D players know that elves have corkscrew-shaped penises. It's nothing
It's pretty
weird.
normal.
By the time you all manage to dry off a bit and clean up these wounds, the sun is high in the sky. It's close to noon. The heat is sweltering. It's almost hard to breathe because of the humidity. But you're on relatively dry ground, and you start to clean yourselves up a bit.
So, Jake,
Yes, sir.
Sapush, the only thing he has on his character sheet, besides hide armor, is poultices and herbs, 2 uses.
Okay.
And I used one.
You did. I can't remember what it was for.
total
you
like
had
slap.
you did a little tea
silliness.
session with
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
You
Yeah,
want to use
that's right.
the other one to
Yeah,
heal this boy?
can I?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to I want to mix it like I figure it kind of like I have this there's sort of like some belt pouches that kind of just blend in and it just goes away obviously when I take different forms. But we'll get clear of the water and then take a little rest. And then I kind of go around looking at different things. I ask Sapush asks Helios to start a small flame, and he takes something metal maybe, and he takes some different things out of his pouch and puts them in it, and then goes around and like you see him like crushing up a couple like gross slug looking things and putting in there some moss, like crumbling up some bark, and it smells pretty foul. And I'll kind of mix it all together and then present it to
I'm gonna have to drink
Iriad.
that, aren't I?
Yes, it will help it give you your strength back.
Don't you think I've been through enough?
There's another way.
I don't. Can you heal conditions, Matt? Can Kyle Black heal conditions?
Don't ruin this for me,
Yeah, I know.
Matthew.
Yeah, I don't
No.
think you can though. No,
I'm trying to convert him.
I'll let you spice it up a bit if you want.
No, it's okay. I won't ruin it.
Are you sure this is necessary?
Yes. Otherwise, it will take days to get your strength back.
We do not have days.
No.
Well, went in the jungle, grabs the thing and swigs it in one go.
So it's you lift up to swig it and you see like it slowly starts sliding towards your mouth. This hot, thick like pool of sludge, and then you have to like it's like half eating, half like drinking it. Like
it's mashed up leaves.
it's your own leeches with the blood of you.
Here's your blood back.
and it's extremely pungent as it slides down.
That smoothie would cost you $9 downtown.
Detox.
It's a superfood.
Yeah.
Are you sure? Well, doesn't feel like it's. Oh man.
Yes, soon, very soon. We will rest a few minutes, start to walk, and before we get over that ridge, you will get close back to where you were.
Okay, I'm trusting you. I grab some water and like half drink it, half rinse my mouth out.
I lean over to Ariad quietly and say, "But later, when you must relieve yourself, you will want to be on your own."
What does that mean?
Wow.
It will take bad things out of your body with it.
New experience.
You'll get all the tags that I usually have: fiery, the dangerous tag, a couple of those.
Inflamed.
Yep.
Irritated.
So you rest there for
Messy,
a little while
forceful.
longer. Yeah.
Yep. You'll become an immolator of a sort.
Of a sort.
Yep.
You rest there a little while longer, and then eventually you do, Ariad, start to feel your strength returning, and you all make your way out of the swamp.
Dear God.
Up this ridge line to the road. It is dry, easy to travel. It looks like they possibly bring small wagons through here. It's a relief to be on dry, level land. And Sapush, who is at the moment far less tired than the rest of you, thanks to Beaver, points south, and you continue down the road ahead of you.
All right.
All right, we'll drop it off there.
Oh, it's good to be a beaver.
I was laughing a little earlier because somehow I knew you were going to ask me to essentially fucking cook for you. And I was thinking of the immolator version.
A police car and a screaming siren, pneumatic drill, ripped up concrete.
Thank you guys for listening to another episode of our Into the Storm arc. If you're liking what you hear, tell a friend about it, write a goddamn review on Apple Podcasts, do whatever you can do to help us out and get the word out there. In the meantime, check us out online. We are at Nastygram on Instagram and Twitter. And the best place to interact personally with all the cast is at our Facebook page, the Nastygram RPG Lounge. Our intro music is by Wilhelm Scream. Scores once again by Adrian von Ziegler, and some new stuff from an awesome Finnish composer, Antti Martakainen. If you guys are missing Dean on this arc, go ahead and hop over to LSG Media. Listen to all their great stuff. He's on it all. LibertyStreetGeek.net. Thanks again, guys, and we'll catch you next week.
Days of speed and slow time Mondays. Listen now with rain on a boring Wednesday. Watching the news and not eating your tea. Freezing cold flats and death on the walls. I said that's entertainment. That's entertainment.
That's nasty.